Astrology. This is the birth chart for Oprah, television personality. And she's a 29 degrees Sagittarius rising, Sun in Aquarius in the second house, and Moon in Sagittarius. And the rising there is ruled by Jupiter, the rising being Sagittarius, and it comes into the ruler there in the sixth house in Gemini. And we think of the sixth house as being work and Jupiter as being good fortune. So the ruler of her chart is in the sixth house of work. And in Gemini, it's an air sign. So we can see that she's going to have, there's some emphasis here on expanding the self through work, expanding the self through communication. And we can see that's exactly what she does. She was got famous for being having her own television show. Think of the self. It's self-titled Oprah. We know her as just her first name. We don't even need her last name. And we see the sun in the second house in Aquarius. So more air. We think of Aquarius being ruled by Uranus, and this idea of being a television personality. Television is a advanced technology. It's much like the internet, and the second house being where she's making her money. We see the second house ruler is Uranus, and Venus is there as well with the sun in the second house, and Mercury is in the second house. So with Venus there conjunct the sun, this is someone who people would see as being a beautiful person on TV, Aquarius. And this is part of the reason why she made so much money through her personality, through her beauty. And many people might not think of her as being a beautiful person, but let's add Aquarius to that and the fact that she's interested in helping. She would have been in her show, kind of like Dr. Phil, interested in helping people, interested in society's problems. How do you make money? Oftentimes you make money by getting involved in other people's problems. We think of Scorpio as being other people's money, but you could also say it's other people's problems. And what that is the eighth house. And she's got Pluto in the eighth house. So we see the second and the eighth house emphasis. How do you make money? Second house, you get involved in the eighth house in other people's problems. Mercury being there in the second house, we see the planet of the mind, communication. It's in the Gemini decan. It's making a trine to that Jupiter in work. She's very good with her words and being this person who's communicating and talking a lot. You think the title, I think also the title uses TV talk show host. I always thought when I was younger I could never do this. I could never do what these people do. They wake up every day, and I think her show was a daily show. Maybe it was I think of a daily show, waking up every day and just talking. When I was younger, I could never think about doing this, especially talking in front of people. And I do think that we think of Mercury and we think of gossip. A lot of people would think of this as gossip TV. When you have to wake up every day and talk about other people, think of Scorpio as well, and with Mercury there, talking about other people, gossiping. When you have to do that every day, it leads to gossip. It leads to slander and just a lot of things that people don't like about Scorpio. Because you have to come up with stuff every day. And we see the Uranus there that rules the second. It's in the seventh, and it's conjunct the south node in the seventh. So we see where she's coming from with Uranus there, getting involved in other people. You see the seventh house of relationships. Kind of like Dr. Phil's, where there's just this emphasis on being involved in, wanting to be involved in relationships. We think of Aquarius, the seventh house, Uranus there, television, and the ruler of that south node, the moon, is in the 11th. So she's got Moon and Mars here in the 11th. So more emphasis on the social function of life, being involved in other people's social life. And we see Mars is there as well. She's not afraid to do this. She's not, with that Mars moon, kind of like an athlete. We see Mars moon with a lot of athletes, not afraid to go into that darker space, that competitive space. Because a lot of people don't want to do this. A lot of people don't want to get involved in other people's problems. They go to work, they come home, they stay within their own space, and they usually don't make a lot of money. But when you get involved in other people's problems and you have conjunction like this, and you have Saturn in the 10th in Scorpio, uh, there is an opportunity to make a lot of money. And she does have, with the Sun and Venus in the second house and the North Node in Capricorn in the first, she does make a lot of money. And we see, if we look at that North Node in the first, it's ruled by Saturn, it's in Capricorn. Saturn comes back to the 10th. She's got Neptune on the 10th, in the 10th, on the midheaven. So, what is she doing? She's climbing the ladder, Capricorn. She's got a lot of 10th house energy, especially when it comes to her work, Saturn. Where is she doing this? She's doing this in the acting scene, the helping people scene, Neptune being the cosmic Santa Claus. And we see Scorpio involved as well. She's getting involved, as I said, she's getting involved in other people's problems. Moon in Sagittarius, she is a teacher. So you see the rising sign. This can be, a lot of these people look to her for help. She can be seen as a teacher, a wise person to these people, to the people on her show, to her viewers. I think she has that Oprah's book club, which is very popular. Think of reading and Sagittarius. She doesn't really need to do that. Some of her famous books in the book club, I'm thinking of Eckhart Tolle, very much in the spiritual stage, interested in spirituality with that emphasis on Sagittarius. The 12th house ruler is Jupiter, more emphasis on that, being someone who's interested in spirituality, religion. Also with Jupiter in Gemini retrograde. I do like Jupiter in Sagittarius for that. I also like Jupiter in Gemini for its opposition, as well, for being interested and having a life that's interested in religion, philosophy, spirituality. And I'm going to leave it there for now. This is Oprah, TV personality. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say is that there's going to be some upcoming drama with Oprah here. When Pluto crosses over this Venus Sun conjunction in Aquarius, and when Uranus goes over this Jupiter in their sixth, look out for news on Oprah. Either it could be some changes, or it could be, in a positive light, it could be just her coming back to the scene in television or blowing up on the internet in some way. So look out for that, and hope you enjoy this mini reading for Oprah.